Welcome back to Bodybuilding Nation. Today we're covering updates from several competitors, including Carlos Thomas Jr., Sassan Herati, Terrence Ruffin, Blessing Awodibu, and Nial Dorn. Let's get into the latest bodybuilding news. Carlos Thomas Jr. Post-Detroit Pro assessment. Let's begin with an update from Carlos Thomas Jr., who's still maintaining decent condition a couple of weeks after the Detroit Pro. His first Arnold Classic Ohio appearance earlier this year proved to be quite humbling for him. Witnessing the caliber of physiques he faced up close at the Arnold seems to have made him more cautious about making bold statements regarding how he'll compare against elite competitors like former Mr. Olympia champion Derek Lunsford. Carlos represents a classic case of a competitor who generated significant hype as a potential dark horse heading into a show, only to lose all momentum once he stepped on stage. He didn't even get the opportunity to stand alongside the top 6 competitors because his conditioning simply wasn't where it needed to be compared to the elite contenders. 4 weeks after the Arnold, Carlos competed at the Detroit Pro, which unfortunately resulted in an even greater disappointment. His inability to crack the top 5 in that lineup clearly indicates he needs to return to the drawing board, focus on another off-season phase, and address his weaknesses. The most obvious area requiring improvement is his back development, which remains his primary lagging body part, along with his overall conditioning. When Carlos made his pro debut at the 2023 Texas Pro, several observers who saw him in person predicted he would struggle to achieve that translucent, paper-thin skin condition because of his genetic makeup. It seems they were correct in their assessment. Despite taking nearly 2 years before returning to competition, there wasn't a dramatic improvement in his overall detail and definition. His condition might be complicated by his health situation, as Carlos deals with ulcerative colitis, which apparently worsens as he approaches competition day. This creates a challenging balancing act for his prep. Many believe he should have continued working with coach Patrick Tuer for the Detroit Pro instead of self-coaching, as his condition appeared to deteriorate between the Arnold and Detroit Pro just 4 weeks later. What do you think? Should Carlos take time off from competition to focus on an extended off-season, or should he push forward with more shows this year? Sassan Herati, extreme conditioning. There's something remarkable about Persian bodybuilders. No one gets more peeled and shredded than these athletes. We've witnessed this with Hadi Chupan and Behruz Tabani, and now veteran IFBB pro Sassan Herati is pushing conditioning to extraordinary levels in his recent appearances at the Detroit Pro and FIBO Germany. His coach Chris Aceto will likely increase Sassan's caloric intake significantly for the upcoming California Pro, which is still more than 4 weeks away. However, it wouldn't be surprising if Sassan maintains the same incredible condition we saw at Detroit and FIBO, or possibly even improves upon it. Looking at his quadriceps separation and deep abdominal definition, Sassan came remarkably close to defeating top 5 Olympian Andrew Jacked. A substantial portion of the bodybuilding community feels Andrew should have been penalized for his condition, particularly from the back poses. The California Pro won't be an easy conquest either, as Regan Grimes has officially confirmed his participation. Once again, we'll see Sassan's razor-sharp conditioning against Regan's impressive structure, with possibly Michael Krizo in the mix as well. Based on previous showings, Regan has historically struggled to achieve the level of conditioning that Sassan brings to the stage. However, with Stefan Kienzel now guiding Regan's prep, there's potential for him to achieve a superior condition than he ever did working with Milos Sarcev. Sassan has secured 2 runner-up placings so far in 2025, both against significant names in men's open, William Bonac and Andrew Jacked. There's a strong possibility he'll qualify for this year's Olympia stage. If he wins the California Pro, will he continue dieting all the way until the Spain Pro? That remains an open question that only time will answer. Terrence Ruffin, working with Hany Rambod. The coach with the most Olympia victories in bodybuilding history, Hany Rambod, officially retired last year after coaching Chris Bumstead at the Prague Pro. However, it seems he's still connected with some of the best competitors in the world. As Hany clarified, he retired from elite-level full-time coaching, but hasn't completely stepped away from the sport. We've now seen the second on-camera training session between Terrence Ruffin and Hany Rambod, featuring an intense workout followed by a comprehensive posing session. This footage appears to have been captured approximately 3 weeks out from the Pittsburgh Pro, and it's evident that Terrence is right on target with his preparation, possibly even ahead of schedule. The 5-second hold on all poses, especially immediately after an intensive workout, must be incredibly challenging. Yet Terrence exhibits zero trembling while executing these poses, demonstrating why he's considered one of the premier posers in the entire IFBB Pro League. It's remarkable to consider that Terrence weighs just over 180 pounds in this footage, yet appears subs for his height. He's bringing a complete package from front to back, with particular focus on improving his biceps and hamstrings, which have been priorities during this preparation phase. His arms, which have historically been Terrence's most notable lagging body parts, show significant improvement. It appears we're about to witness not only the largest, but potentially the best version of Terrence Ruffin to ever grace the stage at the upcoming Pittsburgh Pro. Blessing Awodibu, Strategic Show Selection. Next, we have a physique update from Blessing Awodibu. His upper body is transforming rapidly, more quickly than his lower half. Blessing made a timely decision to skip this year's Pittsburgh Pro and New York Pro, which shows strategic thinking for several reasons. First, both shows feature exceptionally deep lineups that would make victory extremely challenging for him. Second, he would have needed to push extraordinarily hard to prepare adequately for these shows, as the current condition of his lower body indicates he's not targeting any May competitions. There simply isn't sufficient time to achieve the necessary level of conditioning while maintaining his mass. Blessing's underwhelming performance at his last show wasn't primarily due to a lack of conditioning, but rather because of the obvious imbalance between his upper and lower body. Standing next to competitors like Regan Grimes and Nathan D'Asha exposed this discrepancy significantly. If Blessing is planning strategically with the primary goal of securing his Olympia qualification for this year, the China Pro in June could be his best opportunity. He likely won't defeat competitors like Behruz Tabani in Dubai or Italy, and there's nothing wrong with making calculated competitive choices. Should Blessing win a show in June, he could enjoy another mini off-season before beginning his Olympia preparation. He's been training alongside Brian Ansley, which undoubtedly means both athletes are pushing each other to their absolute limits. Nial Dorn, promising classic physique prospect. Finally, let's examine a physique update from Nial Dorn, who potentially has the smallest waist in the classic physique division. His competition preparation hasn't officially begun yet, but even at a reported 260 pounds, his waist remains remarkably tiny, which is impressive at such a heavy off-season weight. Nial possesses all the qualities necessary to make a significant impact in classic physique this year. While there's little doubt he'll qualify for the Olympia, the bigger question is how high he can place among the world's top 10 classic competitors. At his Olympia debut last year, he finished 11th. However, his structure clearly embodies the classic aesthetic the division was designed to showcase. His quadriceps have an excellent sweep, complemented by that narrow waistline and wide lats, the ideal X-frame. He's likely focused on developing his arms during this off-season, as enhanced arm development would further complete his overall package. Based on his last two appearances in 2024, the Olympia and the Muscle Contest Brazil, where he competed against Ramon Dino, we can confidently say he has the ability to achieve exceptional conditioning from front to back. Nial placed third in that post-Olympia show, but there's a comparison photo of him hitting a front double biceps pose next to Ramon that highlights his incredible structure. The potential for this athlete seems limitless in the classic physique division. That's all for today's updates. What are your thoughts on these competitors? Do you think Carlos Thomas Jr. should take more time off? Can Sassan Herati qualify for the Olympia this year? Will Terrence Ruffin dominate at Pittsburgh? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe to Bodybuilding Nation for more content like this. Thanks for watching.